It's not that people out there don't follow laws. No. People are always following laws. Whatever country they are in, what people follow the laws of that country.
It's very true. They do.
People follow the laws of the system and society. So, like if they're in a society where it's legal to kill a cow or animal, they go around killing it. Nothing illegal about it.
Yes.
So, like that's where their law following is there, but for the system and society, not for the multiverse.
Yes.
They don't care about multiversal laws. They don't bother to find them out in the first place because they are so busy following the laws of the system and society. And they think they'll be safe as long as they follow the laws of system and society.
Yes.
Nothing bad is gonna happen to them.
That's how it is.
They're not gonna go to jail or get some other punishment or anything. Because the way the consequences come for breaking the multiversal laws are not so apparent. You know.
No.
It's not like police comes and arrests you immediately or something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen like that.
It's not immediate.
Yeah.
No.
They're much more tired.
But the consequences are there and they come like when you die, like Jim Singh. You have to face that music, Jim Singh, and even in your life, like Jim Singh, there are a lot of things happen to you which the system and society can't help with, Jim Singh, like diseases and things like that. Yeah, so people do understand the concept of laws. It's not that people do not understand the concept of laws. They do understand the concept of laws and they do want to not be in trouble. They do want to stay out of trouble. Yeah. The only thing is that the laws which are there in the society and system right now are not congruent with multiversal laws at all. They have nothing to do with them. So, then obviously people are in trouble because they are following those laws. By following those laws, they are breaking all the multiversal laws. And the laws of the society, system and society are very convenient right now. You can do so many stupid things right now.
Yeah.
And they all come under the term legal. You know.
Yes, they're all legal.
You can pile up your time.
Yes.
You can speak any which way from your mouth. You can behave any which way. Inappropriately. You can kill so many animals and stuff all you want. There's so many things you can do which are totally not as per multiversal laws. And it all seems all good for them. You can go get drunk. But you can get drunk, but then you can't drive when you're drunk. So you get somebody to drive you when you're drunk, like that's all. And then it's all legal.
And it's lawful again.
But you can get drunk as much as you want other times. It's no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you're above the age of 18 or 21 or whatever the age is, 16, whatever, 18, 21, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're now legal to drink. You're legal age to drink. So you can drink all you want, no matter what happens to your body from that, or your mind, or your spirit or soul. That doesn't matter. What? But it's legal. What? It's legal to get a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever when you're 18 or 21, whatever. It's all these things are just legal. You think what?
Yes.
Whether that has any multiversal relevance or not, it has any kind of basis to it or anything. That does not matter. It's just legal and you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So beings who are just following system laws and society laws and the constructs of society right now are basically on a fast track to hell because all of those things are totally nothing to do with multiversal laws. And they have been set in place like that only so that people will lose power. Like if you're not following multiversal laws, you lose power. If you follow multiversal laws, you gain power. That's the only way power happens. So if you have less power, then you'll be a sheeple. Yeah. So you'll be allowed to be undisciplined. undisciplined in the sense that you will not be following multiverse laws. Like you're allowed to be undisciplined and bratty and that thing, and exist within the system and work for the system. You'll still have to work for it. You'll still have to work for the system, but you're allowed to be indisciplined. You can go to your like day job or whatever 9 to 5, and then you can lounge around in your sofa or whatever in any ungraceful pose afterwards, like you think. Yeah, it's because it's all under the law, like it's legal to like do these things. It's legal to be ungraceful, like what?
It's legal to be
It's legal to speak in any kind of
like a point.
twangy tone or it's legal to do any kind of things, like do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, according to these.
It's legal to eat TV dinner. Alright, like it's legal. I mean there's no
It's legal to eat TV dinner.
yeah, like that thing. No matter what it does to your body or health or that thing, it doesn't matter, like because it's legal, like you go to a supermarket, buy a TV dinner and eat it, but because it's legal, like you know, nothing illegal about it. Like, I mean most of the like pharma drugs and stuff, they're legal too, like you can pop pills, like you can get to doctors, you can get prescriptions, that's legal to all of that.
Doctors are legally
What?
doctors.
Yeah. Point is that people do follow laws, and the kind of laws which are around here, they are fine enough for brats. Brats find it okay, like you're saying. This deal which the system gives them for society seems to be to their liking. You know what I'm saying? There's parts to it which are not to the liking, like you have to do the 9 to 5 and things like that. What? But overall, they're ready to take this package. Like,
It's true.
Yes.
yeah.
Package.
Yeah.
Just take the package.
They are.
Like a point, yeah.
And as long as they can keep a sense of like they are not in trouble here with the system or society, then they're doing fine. No matter how they're feeling on the inside, or how sick they feel, how sick their body is, how sick their mind is, how sick their soul is, spirit is, or like how weak, that doesn't matter to them.
It's a really great point.
What? As long as they're not getting in trouble with the system and society, everything's going well.
It's not only concern,
Yeah. Like, and obviously death does not exist for these people anyways, so like
No.
it's not like the system and society is gonna end.
Yeah, that's
For brats, nothing exists like except that thing. What?
yes.
It's a very good
Yeah, like, you know, kids, if they're given candies, they'll go to school too, like you're saying. They might not like school, but they like the candies, so,
No, like the candy.
like, so. But, I mean, it's legal to eat as many candies as you want. Like,
There you go.
there's no legal limit to candies.
There is no legal limit.
What?
No.
No. There's no legal limit to candy. No.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, there's no law saying you can't drink that many, like, cokes or, like, aerated drinks of any kind, like, you're saying.
No.
What?
No,
There's no law against it, like,
No,
you're
no,
saying.
no.
You have vending machines all over, you can get as many as you want.
Absolutely. It's all in place.
There's no age
For
limit.
that.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Not even an age limit. Get it whenever. True.
So breaking multiversal laws and stuff is very convenient right now. Like I'm saying, system and society has made it like it's convenient to break multiversal laws. What is going to happen or whatever happens from that, we'll see later. What?
But yeah.
And some of these people won't even think anything bad is going to happen just because they're following the laws
Yeah.
of the society and
That's
that thing
Yeah.
and the system.
Yeah.
Even though they might be 180 degrees opposite to the multiversal laws, but again, they have not even thought in terms of multiversal laws
Yeah.
ever that there are any such laws.
That's right.
No. Nobody.
All their whole construct doesn't go beyond society and systems laws,
Very true.
and they live in that.
Yeah, that's so true.
I mean, talk about narrow-mindedness. Like, I mean, that's
Seriously.
beyond narrow-minded.
Yeah.
The whole thing is way too narrow,
It's so narrow. So
Yeah.
narrow.
and it's practical, and it's skittish.
It is.
kid is different from a child. Like, child means like you have innocence, you have learning attitude, you have the wanting to know where you are at, what is this, all of that. That is childishness. Like, it's childlikeness.
It's childlike.
And kiddishness is like, or like, mommy, I want this, or
I deserve this.
or I deserve this, or system give me this, or that thing, or that thing.
Yeah.
That is kiddishness and brattiness.
Yes.
Now, so on this planet, like right now, there's a whole system in place to produce brats and nothing else.
That's a really good
Slave brats.
slave brats.
They're brats, but they'll still be slaves. Like everybody here is a brat, but they are all slaves at the same time. Like because brats can't have any power, right?
Yes.
No, rats can't have any power.
Real power, so they'll always be slaves. So they'll more ingrown in their slavery, and then they'll be given some trinkets just to keep them like going, and that's all. And then they'll keep on going in it. Yeah, because beings stay immature and irresponsible until they face the fact about beingness, and being inside the multiverse, they stay immature and irresponsible completely. And immaturity and irresponsibility will always lead to trouble and hell, pain and torture. And then it's just screaming. Because how will a cat respond to that kind of situation? Except check a tantrum. What?
That's right.
Such a tantrum.
Yeah. The whole thing is to check a tantrum, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To call foul.
Yeah, and then be back to being the slave. Like, I mean, it has no other option. Without power, you don't have any other option. What?
Yes.
Without any real power. And power is the actual will thing, like internal thing. Power is not something like, like if you are some like minister in some country, that your power. That's not power of any kind. That means you are another slave, complete slave to the system. Every move has to be as per the system, what system dictates. The higher the position you are in this, the more of a slave you are.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. Only you are just thrown more trinkets because you are a bigger slave, like Tim saying. So.
Throw more trinkets.
Yeah, but at the same time, you are put through more of a grind than other slaves.
That's true.
More down level slaves.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, they have
More of a grind.
Yeah. Obviously, the system and society which is out here doesn't want anybody to grow up and face any facts. They want them to stay like infantile, bratty kids. They don't want them to any being to, because so that then they will stay powerless. Because that way means you don't have any power. Because power only comes from following multiversal laws.
Power only comes
Yeah. So without power, you can't that thing. You don't have any say in anything. You don't have any will. You don't have any that thing. Then whatever you will happen.
Yeah.
That's power.
That's power.
Yeah.
That whatever one
That's
will-
power.
will
Yeah.
happen.
Real power is like what you will, you can manifest.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you will
Control
you can
over
manifest.
destiny and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's power.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not about manifestation for people. People, they slave away and they're given some salary or trinkets or whatever. And that thing. And then things which are not good for them. If you slave away, then you can drink your alcohol or whatever. Like in a job, then you can do this and you can you get some cheese and alcohol or something. What?
Cheese and alcohol.
Oh yeah, whatever, like something which is not really good for you. What? You get to indulge in until you get back to slave. Like, like stayed back once more, like you say. So
So clear. Unpretentious.
you're not allowed to manifest, like you can't manifest anything unless you have power. And the power of manifestation comes from following multiverse laws only.
Yeah.
Power
Yeah.
manifestation comes from following multiversal laws.
Because power is will. Like what is called willpower. What is your willpower?
Power of will.
And if the will is not aligned with the multiversal will, you don't have any power, like you say. There's no question of Yeah. Your will have no strength. I mean, there's so many people in this world who don't want to do their jobs, like, and who don't want to be in that slave state, that thing, but they have no option, like, because their will is not strong enough. And why is their will not strong enough? Because it's not aligned with the multiversal will. That's why it's not strong enough. And I mean, multiversal laws are quite easy to, yet they're not very complicated. They're not like, the law books of this world, which, like, take. I mean, you can fill libraries and libraries with them, they'll still not be that thing. The books are so many. Do you know what I'm saying? What?
Yeah,
They're all thousands of pages.
Yeah.
And, like millions of books with millions of pages, like that's how much the law books are of this world. Yeah. Multiverse laws are quite simple, actually. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're not that complicated. But one has to have some interest, to learn them in the first place. The only reason people don't learn these multiverse laws is because they have no interest in them in the first place. They're quite satisfied, like going by the laws of the system and society. They're quite satisfied by it. So they don't see any need to. Where's the need? And if the bad things happen, you can always curse the God and everything like that thing at the time, and throw a tantrum. You know what I'm saying? Because I've not gone into multiverse laws as yet, because that won't take much time to go into that. It's not a very long time one needs to learn those things. But the thing is that one has to be first really, really ready to face the facts, because when the facts come, they won't be two brats liking any brats liking. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Let's just say that multiversal laws do not allow for bratiness. They're not made for brats. Laws. What? Yeah. They're quite simple in that thing, and they don't need whole libraries and millions and billions of pages. Because all these things are unnatural. All these laws and stuff are unnatural. When you go into an unnatural mode and path, things get more and more complicated. More and more and more and more complicated. You just don't know where to draw the line or where the fine print is. You can keep on going into it and it's just never going to work out. It's like a system which doesn't work because it's unnatural in the first place. And something which is natural is quite simple. And it's easy, it's simple, it's easy to understand. And it never gets complicated. It stays simple. Yeah, because people have notions like that. People have notions like that thing, okay, people who are in Hollywood and that thing and music industry, they're not slaving away. But they are slaving away even more. They are even more of slaves, like you say. They just don't know about the reality of these beings. That how much of slaves they are. Do you know what I'm saying? If they're new to the extent of slavery, that will make them shudder.
Yes,
Yeah.
seriously.
What kind of slavery the people in the entertainment industry or any of these people who are supposed have to go through? Like people just see, they have money and stuff like that thing. So, like, they're not slaves. They're living the life, but they're not.
That's a really good point.
They're even much more of a slave than a person who's a checkout person at whatever supermarket or something. Yeah.
Wow.
You can be a daughter of a person with money, right? That thing. You will still be a slave. You will be a brat and you will be a slave afterwards. Two different things.
Yes.
You will never be getting out of slavery, no matter how much money you have. What? Yeah, you'll always end up doing slave activities only if you're a brat. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't manifest anything pleasant and blissful or anything like that. You'll be doing some horrendous horrible slave activity, which in the end you won't like either because it's not pleasant. No one can like something which is not pleasant. So, It'll be unpleasant and you will not like it. But rats have no option. Because they don't have any will and power. I mean, you can have all the money in the world and you'll still manifest hell for yourself in this world. Money doesn't give you sense, like Jim saying, or what to manifest. Yeah, as a brat, you never have idea what pleasant is anyways, like that's why as a brat you're consuming very, like, unpleasant tasting candies, like Jim said. And then getting a stomach ache and this and that and all kinds of bad things happen to you. And none of that is unpleasant, Jim said. Yeah. Like, brattiness is opposite of pleasantness. You can't get to pleasantness through brattiness, like Jim saying. No matter what you do or what you have, you will always be a slave. And that's why all brats are throwing tantrums all around the world, like Jim said. All people are upset and crying and all kinds of things. All the time. Because they obviously don't like what they manifest. James. What? Yeah. Because brats create as per the Bratty principle, not the multiversal principle. And Bratty principle is basically an egoic principle. Oh, yeah, this seems good for my ego. Like I'm saying, that is the only thing which they go by. This seems good for my ego, and that's all. And the second other thing which they maximum go by is survival. Like that's why they take up jobs, even though those are not good for the ego. Because it's a matter of survival. So it's survival or ego. There are only two principles they go by. Yeah. So when you think something is good for your ego and that thing, you do it, like, and then that thing. That is when people are grown up. I'm not talking about like when people are reach 18 or 19. Because that's when ego is fully formed. Like, obviously in 4 or 5 year olds, it's not fully formed. Like, they're just still eating candies. Right? Yeah, like, so they go to things like, oh, this seems good for my ego, that's all. What? And whatever situation is created from that is always unpleasant. And they start taking tantrums. Like females, for example, they will like choose like boyfriend, like on basis of like whatever appeases their ego more or massages their ego most. Yeah, but when they are with it, like then they find it's not so cool or it's not good, it's not pleasant. Then they start crying and chucking tantrums and everything, and all that happens. Then they have to leave that one and find another one, which will be like massaging the ego in the beginning again, like Jim saying. And the same cycle happens over and over again, sort of. Like, yeah. I mean, if your only guideline is your ego, which is like completely false sense of knowing, then you'll always be led into unpleasant situations, which is finally, when the unpleasantness increases, that's called hell. So you're going into hell basically, always. You're going by these false sense of knowings, false structures, false sense of self. So that can only lead to trouble, not multiversal laws. It's got nothing to do with multiversal laws or beingness. Because you are not your ego. Like a being is a being, it's not one's ego. Whenever through like egoical things, like people get into situations, compromising situations or anything, or then ego suddenly disappears. It's nowhere to be found. But your being still remains at the time. Yeah, there's the same ego which was a head voice in your head which made you do those things, is nowhere to be found at that time when the trouble comes and the consequences come in. You try to find it and you will not find it. It won't be there. The thing with brats is that they keep on doing bratty actions. As long as they are allowed. As long as the circumstances are there of any kind where they can do some bratty action, they will keep on doing it. As long as they have legs to walk, they will walk into some nonsense. As long as they have hands, they will use their hands to do some nonsensical activity which will bring unpleasantness to themselves and to others. As long as they have anything functioning, at all, they'll keep on doing nonsensical actions. So what the multiverse does is keeps on taking things away from them, like their arms, legs, everything, like James said.
Yes.
And because they're not going to use them for anything to do with multiversal laws. So those things have to be taken out. Like James saying. And then people also that think, why do people not have this, or why does this person not have eyes? Why is this person deaf, dumb, or mute, or whatever? It's because these people, when they had it, they never used it and bothered to use it. Or use it for anything as per multiversal laws. Yeah. The brats keep on doing the battiness till the last breath, basically. And they pay for it. In this world, in this lifetime, and after death, in the other worlds. Yeah, because brats act like in the way where there's no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow for brats. Consequences will never come. Action leads to consequences is not a thing which brats know about or want to know about. They always act like there is no tomorrow. But the tomorrow always comes, finally. Only they are in a deeper shit or hell than they started with. When tomorrow always comes. Yeah. So they can act like there is no tomorrow, but tomorrow will come. Yeah, right now Olympics are going on, right? So we can bring up the same thing about the so-called athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, they are all ready to, pump drugs into themselves.
Yes.
In order to win some stupid medal or something, right? Yeah, why? Because the brat is happy that it will get attention, people will look up to it or whatever.
Yeah.
Its ego will be satisfied for a bit, you know what I'm saying? What the consequence of taking the drugs is, whatever, in its old age, what pain it will get or what harm it has done to its body or being, that is not concerned about, because again, brats don't have future perspective. Because future has to do with time, and time is part of the multiversal law. So they have nothing to do with the multiversal laws. So they have nothing to do with time. So they have nothing to do with future. Yeah, they behave like future will not come. Like consequences of whatever drugs they have put in themselves will not come to their body. Just to begin with, even on a gross level, there will be consequences to the body from taking all of those bad things. In swimming and all of these things. So-called athletes, they're all taking these pharma drugs, whatever you want to call them, but just so that they win a medal and get their ego boost for a little bit. The people are clapping for them. Other brats clap for them, So, again, the main thing with brats is, is that they don't have any concept of future or time or consequence, because all those things are related. Consequence is going to happen in time, so you have to have an idea of time, and you have to have an idea of future. You will have to know that you are born, you will die, you will grow old, all these things, like I'm saying. And of course, brats won't want to face any of these kind of things. what? Even the laws which are quite apparent out here when you live on this planet.
Yeah.
What happens to everybody? You know, they can't even learn from that or apply anything.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah, because the system in society is creating a forever kind of bubble for them. That forever you just can be going to supermarkets forever, like, and nothing is going to happen to you. James saying, you'll be continuously going to Disney World or this or that, like James said, what? Nothing bad is there. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. There's no unpleasantness, pain and torture or anything. There's just these funny puppets and stuff running around with masks on. And what? People on this planet are at a very, very infantile level, like Jim saying, and the system and society keeps them at that infantile level. Yeah. With the infantile laws, which are all against multiverse laws, and everything, nonsensical. So the term is infantile brat slaves, like that's what people are. So.
Excellent term to describe it.
And multiversal laws are the last thing these people want to know about. Because they've never taken the time to get in touch with their beingness, even at all.
Approved.